It's an interesting time. It's an interesting time. When we were deciding to do this event, we had an option to do it right smack dab in the middle of the holidays, like a few weeks back. And we said, that's not good. Everyone's going to be stressed. There's going to be a lot going on. So we said, let's do this the first Wednesday after the new year. Everyone will be relaxed with a clear mind. It'll be a wonderful way to kick off. Anyone feeling that way today? I'm feeling that way today. It's been a 3-month-long week of 2025. F Street is a parking lot. Some of us are on our 3rd snow day or our 2nd snow day, depending on where your kids are. I mean, we're here. So you all came out. That is amazing. So when Scott says he asks young people, what pisses you off? If we asked all of you that, there would be a really interesting set of questions right now. But we're all here, and I appreciate everyone being here. So what are you here for? Why are we doing this event? Why was I so excited to help co-host this? I recently joined as a board member for LearnServe International. When I think of the impact of an organization that combines the power of young people in Washington, D.C., in Paraguay, in Costa Rica, and in Zambia, think about that. Washington, D.C., Costa Rica, Paraguay, Zambia. I don't think there's another organization doing that. Harnessing the power of young people on the most local of scales in the most global of contexts. I think that's really powerful. The firm I lead, called Link Strategic Partners, we're a social impact consulting firm. The work we do is hyper-local work on a global scale. And what we've come to realize is some of our big global challenges may not always have big global solutions. They often have local solutions if the local partners who are closest to the issue are given agency and voice. This organization figured that out long before we did and gave that agency and voice to young people because they've often figured it out. And that's what I'm so excited to be a part of here today. I'm joined by another board member here, Deborah Levine in the back, and I appreciate Deborah being here. Any other board members I'm leaving out today? Want to make sure? But Deborah, thank you for being here. I get asked to serve on a lot of boards, as I know many people in this room do. It's not something that I take lightly, and it's not something that I think any of us who do board service think about in a way that should be transactional. I currently serve on 11 different boards. Why do I mention that? That's a lot of boards. And the agreement I have with my wife is that I will not serve on a new board until I roll off a board. And so Scott has very persistently, over many years, said, will you? And I was going to have coffee with him to very politely tell him I still can't, when one of the boards that I'm on called me on the car ride there and said, your board term is up. We just realized your board term is up. I said, this is going to be a very different coffee with Scott Reckler. So I joined him. I said, the answer is yes. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I could put my heart and resources into it right now. I'm very excited to do that. So why did we invite all of you here today? Number one of the things I've realized is often the groups doing the most important work are the groups that have the least amount of awareness around that work. So I think for a lot of you in this room, this is probably the first time you've heard of LearnServe. And for those of you who know about it, please tell all the new people all the great things you know about it. So more than anything, we just want to help you leave today with the right understanding of what this amazing organization is, because I truly do think it's doing life-changing, globe-changing work, and I want this to be all part of your network as well. The second reason we pulled everyone together today is you're going to hear from two of the youth that have gone through this program. And I think that's far more important than Scott or I or anyone else talking to you, so you can get a real understanding of what that looks like. And then the third reason we ask you all here is because there is an ask here. And the ask is, if you like what you're hearing, and if you like what we're doing, think about how LearnServe fits in to the priorities that you have personally and professionally. And that can look a lot of different ways. The people in this room are government leaders, they're media leaders, they're nonprofit leaders, they're corporate leaders, and I appreciate you all spending tonight with us. Think about where this might fit in the work that you do. If there's a partnership possibility, we're excited about it. If there's a financial opportunity, we're excited about it. If there's a giving of time and treasure, we're excited about it. One of the things we're introducing tonight is this concept of boardroom champions. For any of you who've been on the asking or receiving side of philanthropy, you know that it can get somewhat repetitive. People have to ask and people have to respond over and over again. We're trying to change that model a little bit here at LearnServe. Instead of coming to you every time we have a gala, another program, a new initiative, what if we put together something that allowed you to work with us to determine a partnership level that made sense for you over the course of a year that truly was rooted in the idea of partnership. What would a mutually beneficial partnership look like between our organization and your organization? Let's figure that out and then just do the good work. So you'll hear more about that later, and if that moves you to action as we leave, that would be wonderful. Does that all make sense?
Yes.
So I'm going to bring up two people. I'm going to bring up Jordan and Arfan. Jordan is going to tell you a little bit about her experience in LearnServe, and then I'm going to get to do a really cool Q&A with both of them. So please put your hands together for Jordan. Jordan.
Hello, everyone. Hello. My name is Jordan Warren, and I have quite the interesting story with LearnServe. While most people join LearnServe through their high schools and then attend the Thursday sessions, I found out about the program a little differently. September 2019, I was hanging out with my friends, and she asked me randomly, "Are you busy tomorrow?" I said, depends on what it is. She says, "This program came to my school, and now I'm going on this overnight camping trip, but I don't know anyone there. Can you please come with me?" So we called up Scott that moment, and he said yes. I got home around 9 p.m., and I had to let my mom know that I needed a bunch of stuff for over the weekend camping trip. You can imagine the frenzy I put her in. When I got there, it was something that impacted my life tremendously, because 6 years later, I'm standing here today.
All right.
Yes.
You see, previously, I attended a school called Washington Leadership Academy. At the time, it was a very new school. In fact, we only had 9th and 10th graders, no juniors, no seniors. Because it was so new, they were trying to figure out, how can we add principles, characteristics to really build our school. So they would invite speakers and to talk about social justice issues and rallies we would go to, and we would learn all about these issues and what they were, but never how to solve them. I was always left with the question of, what is the solution? Thank you for telling me this, but what now? And when I went to that camping trip, a program that I knew nothing about, I found that solution. From there, I actually formally enrolled into the Thursday sessions weekly. Then I got the venture religious persecution. Me and my partner, we wanted to tackle religious tensions happening around the world with Christians and Muslims. And it went really well. It was going nice. And then COVID happened. Yeah, we all know about COVID. Because there was so much happening, LearnServe was one of the last things I was thinking about. I ended up not being able to complete that year. And being in quarantine, left with myself and my thoughts and my mind, I realized something. This entire time, I was a part of another community that I wasn't even aware of. The neurodiversity community within the Black community. At 17 years old, I was late diagnosed with autism and ADHD. And then I found out that this was actually really prevalent amongst people that looked like me. It didn't dawn on me. No one was really talking about this. I mean, yeah, I saw some articles about it, but this was a big issue that I didn't see enough noise about. And then I realized that there was someone with more power, more money, and more experience that probably already tried to tackle this. So what can I do? So I left it alone, but it kept nagging and nagging me. So I just had to do something. I contacted Scott and I said, I don't know if LearnServe is even still a thing. I'm alive by the way. And lo and behold, I was able to join the program again, this time with a new venture called neurodiversity in the Black community. And I was able to complete it. I actually ended up winning an award as well, the Tenacity Award. Just really impacted my life to the point where I stayed. So I got to intern twice, once over the summer and once in the fall. When I interned in the summer actually, the first time I interned, I was very sure of myself. I know the role I wanted to play in LearnServe, in the background, not being seen at all. Yeah, clearly it didn't work out. Until I got to intern in person, working one-on-one with the students, having the roles reversed. I was now the one hoping, just the way that Scott was hoping me. There was one student in particular. She was terrified. to do her coffee house pitch. And I remember being terrified like her when I was in the program as well. But something that LearnServe taught me was to do it afraid. The theme of that camping trip, by the way, was getting out of your comfort zone. And I actually helped her get out of her comfort zone, and she was able to do it. And even though I wasn't on stage with her, seeing her there, just like I was there just 2 years prior, really did something to me. It made me realize that I actually did like talking to people, helping people, connecting with people in my community. I don't even think I knew my neighbor's name until I joined LearnServe and had to go around asking for support. Because the reason why I won that tenacity award was because I ended up hosting multiple autism support groups in my community. LearnServe gave me those skills and those tools to do that. Things that I always wished I had the chance to get, but I never knew how. It gave me many opportunities to a point where after I interned twice, I ended up going back to be a cohort leader twice again. Couldn't get enough. And after that, we went to Zambia this summer. My first time going out of the country, by the way. It was amazing. LearnServe opened many doors. We did conferences, attended conferences, led conferences, alumni networks, and I even got to intern with Link. My Link was the first internship that I did outside of LearnServe. I was so excited when I submitted everything and got the interview. I remember going to my mom the night before, and I was asked her, I said, ask me a bunch of interview questions, and I want to be prepared, I want to be ready. So I memorized a bunch of stuff about my education life. I was also fresh out of high school, so pretty nervous. And I get there on an interview, and it's nerve-wracking. All the Link staff is there, and I'm pretty sure it was you, Michael, who asked me my first interview question. He goes, so, what is your favorite type of peanut butter? Smooth or chunky? I'm thinking, okay, maybe this is a test to see where I go. But it wasn't. It just shows how interconnected Link was, and it was a community that was so strong that I was used to being around because of LearnServe. They really pushed how community impacts connections and communications. And for that, I'm so grateful to be a part of both of them. Thank you.
And next we're going to bring up Irfan to give you a little bit about his LearnServe journey. Irfan?
Everybody, my name is Irfan. I'm a Link associate, Link strategic associate. I am a fellow alum from 2022. I joined LearnServe International very late, actually. It was, I think, mid-year. Well, first of all, I gotta tell you who I am. I'm from Afghanistan. I was born there. I grew up. I was 14 years old when I came to the United States. I was when the Taliban took over the country in 2021. My brother, my uncle, and I were forced out of the country. We had to leave for our own safety and sake, and we ended up here in America. So it was November 8th. We were invited to a party, like a small party, just family friends, or American friends, actually. And there was this lady, very nice. She was asking me about myself, she was asking me about high school, about education, and I was telling a lot of things. I was talking about everything. I was talking about Afghanistan's history. I was talking about, activism. I was talking about everything. So she told me about LearnServe International, and that's how I got to know Scott and LearnServe. Scott reached out to me, and he asked me to, just come, without any understanding of what LearnServe is. I didn't really do any research. I was like, okay, let me go ahead and check it out. And I found out that LearnServe is somewhere that you find your passion. What do I mean by passion? Just imagine being in middle school, or just coming out from middle school, being in high school. You see people all around you suffering, globally, locally. You have the first-hand experience of war, poverty, other impacts that you face like other challenges, other issues in your country, here in the United States. I mean, for me, it was a cultural shock, like the transition from Afghanistan, a very traditional society, coming to the United States, somewhere where it was open, it was easy to talk about your feelings, about your passion, you know? It was a shock. I mean, I was very impressed. And I was like, I was fired up, and I said, all right, I'm here, I'm gonna make a change. And LearnServe International helped me to be a change maker, helped me to find my passion. I mean, I had my passion, give me the tools, you know, give me the skills that I needed to make those change happen. And I'm not saying that, you know, people don't know what to do. Obviously, it's not true. But when we talk about young people, we often think, okay, so yeah, we're giving everything to young people. Why cannot they change? Why can't they make a change happen? All right. Yes, we are told to make a change happen, but when we're not given the right guidance or we're not shown the right direction, how can we make that change happen? You know, we have to learn. Yes, we're in high school. You know, we know about things. We know about issues. We know about challenges. But how can we find those skills? How can we get empowered to change the world for everyone?
I'm going to ask Jordan and Irfan 2 questions and then turn this back over to Scott as we work to wrap up here. 2 things. They both mentioned that we had the real opportunity to employ them as interns at Link Strategic Partners. How we found that opportunity is we host something called Incubator in Your Boardroom, which is a LearnServe program where they bring the LearnServe students to corporate boardrooms, nonprofit boardrooms, government boardrooms, where they get a chance to practice their social entrepreneurship pitches. So Scott said, we asked him at the beginning of the year, what pisses you off? Then they spend a year putting together a social enterprise venture to solve that. At the end of that, there's a pitch competition. So we need corporate partners, government partners, media partners to bring them in and let them hone their pitch so that they're ready for that pitch competition. And that's how we got introduced to LearnServe. That's how we met 2 phenomenal humans who will go on to do amazing things in the world and hopefully still come back to work for us someday. 2 things I want to mention because I think it highlights the power here. Jordan talked about starting an initial venture that looked at religious persecution, and then a second venture that looked at neurodivergent challenges, specifically in the Black community, and how that continues to this day. She did that while she was in high school and continues that work. That's absolutely remarkable. Irfan is still a high school senior who's in the middle of college applications, also has his own nonprofit that secretly teaches women and girls through Zoom in Afghanistan, and a car detailing business that he and his brother and friend run while he's in high school and working for us. Our young people don't need us to teach them, they need us to get out of the way and support them, and LearnServe understands that. We give them the tools to be them, and we equip them. So my question here is, why is it so important in a room of luminaries, people who run things, why is it so important that we invest in young people through programs like LearnServe? Jordan, would you like to start?
I've been asked this question actually multiple times since being in LearnServe, and I think the reason why is because it really boils down to the time. We're really seeing how the impact of young voices mean more. When in LearnServe, I noticed that, again, it was the skills and tools to get there, and I feel like a lot of times that, especially with the rise of social media and things like that, we're becoming more open to having those conversations, but talking isn't enough. We need action behind it, and LearnServe really puts the action behind it, and it gives younger people that confidence of what to do with that passion that you have.
Thank you so much. Actually, I also get asked a lot about this question. I mean, it's not only LearnServe, but also Link Strategic Partners. I think LearnServe, what it does to you, it doesn't only teach you what to do. Like, it doesn't help you to create, vision, to create roadmap for your ventures, for your projects, but it also help you to get out there and, to express yourself publicly. to, reach the people and to ask them and to get help from them and to tell them what to do. I think it's more, as Jordan also said, it helps you to be more practical than more, learning and teaching, but it just helps you to take action. And action, it's important.
Thank you, my friend. Jordan, you kick this off, and we're going to end with you. You got a room full of people who are considering how and if they should support. What would you say is the reason they should support something like LearnServe?
My professor actually said sometimes the best advice is the simplest one. Tonight, when you go home and you see your families and you lay your head on a pillow, when and if you do invest into LearnServe, however you do, you should be proud and grateful that you are investing not just in LearnServe, the company, the organization, but LearnServe as a community, the people. Again, with my story, LearnServe, they didn't come to my school. It wasn't an application that I filled out online. People get connected to LearnServe like a magnet. So helping LearnServe is helping so many more people than you actually realize.
Do we have a round of applause for Jordan?